And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. A bit of breaking news, and it's coming with regard to the Russia and Ukraine conflict, as Vladimir Putin has essentially threatened war with Europe, stating that he is ready for it. He's also said that he would cut Ukraine off from the sea, and this comes merely like an hour after we reported to you that Zelensky had agreed the US peace deal, stating that he would like to meet President Trump again. Of course, it is being said that Trump is going out to Moscow, and of course the sort of US peace deal, Russian sources are saying that it's the best chance at peace in the region since the sort of invasion happened back in 2022. But Putin seems as though his sort of beef at this moment in time is with Europe, and saying basically that Europe are warmongers and are trying to keep this sort of war continuing, trying to add things to the peace deal. We're going to listen to the man himself and talk about it. But as always, guys, please do get involved in the live chat, and let's see what's been said, shall we? So yeah, as you can see, this is the sort of headline. We're ready for it. Vladimir Putin threatens war in Europe after Ukraine agrees US peace deal. Russian leader Vladimir Putin has sent a chilling threat to Europe just moments after Zelensky voiced his support for a deal ending Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. President Putin, who blasted Europe's proposed peace deal as unacceptable to Russia, this afternoon insisted continental leaders are hindering Donald Trump's negotiations. In a major threat to the West, the Russian leader revealed he does not want a conflict with Europe, but remains prepared for a conflict, and said that he's ready. Let's have a listen to the man ourselves.
Thirdly, they have no peace agenda. They are warmongers. Even when they are trying, allegedly, to introduce some changes, some adjustments to the President Trump's proposal, all these changes have only one goal in mind. They are aimed at blocking and putting to a halt this peace process. They are trying to make demands that are unacceptable for Russia, and they understand this, and then later they would try to blame Russia, accuse Russia of stopping this peace process. This is their objectives, and we can clearly see that. That's why, well, if they want to go back to the reality, considering the reality on the ground, then they are welcome. We are not against this.
Okay, that's not the boat he threatens the war, but I think this is this bit here. Yeah, there we go.
I've said that 100 times. We have no plans of fighting against Europe. But if Europe wants to fight and if they start this fight, then we are ready right now. There is no doubt about this. But the only question is, if Europe starts the war, unleashes this war, because that's not Ukraine. With Ukraine, we use some surgical means. We are trying to be really careful, because you understand why. This is not a war in the direct sense of the word. And if Europe all of a sudden wants to start a war, and if it does start a war, then very rapidly there might be a situation where we have no one to negotiate with. I've said that.
So there you go. I mean, that's from Putin himself. I don't think that he's happy at this moment in time with regard to it. His beef here is with Europe a lot, of course. It does seem as though, as I said, Russian sources are saying that this is the best chance. The US peace deal is the best chance at peace in the region. But what Putin is pissed off at is Europe getting involved. And I've seen this happen many, many times before. Remember, we're probably going to see Keir Starmer be collecting his flowers like he did with the Israel and Gaza thing, when it had absolutely nothing to do with him. If anything, the European leaders are putting a hindrance on it. I say leave it to Donald Trump to deal with the situation. We've just seen Zelensky come out over the last hour and said that they're going to accept the peace deal, the US peace deal, not the European peace deal, the US peace deal. Zelensky said he was going to. He's got Putin right there, ready to go. And Putin seems as though that with a bit of talks, him going out to Russia, Donald Trump going out to Russia and going out to Moscow, then we could get to it, or at least get closer to the peace deal. So I would just say leave Europe out of it at this moment in time. Putin obviously has a massive issue with Europe. He has a massive issue with NATO as well. And yeah, certainly European leaders aren't doing anything for this cause at this moment in time. I'd say leave it with Donald Trump to sort it all out.
Let's bring you some breaking news now from Moscow. President Putin has been talking about attacks on tankers near Turkey and has called it piracy. He has said that he will increase strikes on Ukrainian facilities and tankers in response, and also went on to say that if Europe wants to fight war, they are ready now, and that Russia will take measures against tankers of countries which have helped Ukraine. On the peace talks, Mr. Putin accused Europeans of hindering the US administration and Trump to reach a deal through dialogue. We're going to be talking to Michael Clark about this in a short while.
Let's try and get a bit more reaction on this. But of course, you know, you're hearing it there. And it doesn't surprise me with these European leaders, actually. And as I said, I'm not on Russia, no Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. I'm not like saying picking sides and whatnot. But what I'm trying to say here is that Donald Trump has got a history of ending wars. You know, he's the president of peace, and he looks as though that he is going to get this done. He will get it done. But them pissing around and doing other things in the background just hinders it, because it's this European demonization of Donald Trump. We're all a part of this sort of block, so to speak. The UK involved as well. You know what Keir Starmer's been like, almost sort of contradicting what Trump says most of the time when it comes to sort of international affairs, which is super frustrating. But this is where again, this is where they need to be quiet. These European leaders have no idea what's going on. Let the man get the job done, because at the end of the day, it's the people my age that are getting slaughtered at this moment in time on the battlefield that needs to stop, and we need to see it happening very, very soon, and hopefully something occurs in that way. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of information coming out this way. Of course, Putin saying that Russia is ready to fight now if they're to go to war with Europe. We're not going to fight Europe. I've said that 100 times. But if Europe wants a war and starts one, we are ready right now. Let's get into the live chat, guys. I want to get some reaction on this story. Where do you stand on it? Where do you stand on it at this moment in time? We've got a super chat donation. Thank you very much, by the way. The Mark Anthony says, we don't need our British forces dying for a country, the UK, that doesn't care for its own people. They care about everyone but us British. Thank you so much for your donation. Now, I've always seen Starmer's, jibing in with regard to these sort of peace talks, saying that he wants British boots on the ground out there and sort of, doing some sort of their bit on the Ukrainian side of things. But again, I don't think anyone really listens to Starmer at the top table, if I'm being perfectly honest, when it comes to international affairs. SJ says Russia would be flattened within days. We'll see. John Watson says Putin might be shitting himself when he sees our troops with their silhouette heels and lipsticks. I mean, I don't think we're that bad. Russell says Starmer and Macron need to keep their snouts out. Yeah, I've been like my girlfriend is French, and I've been hearing a lot of the news coming from sort of France's side of things, where they're sort of preparing. Apparently, a lot of ministers talking in the French side of things that they got to prepare for a war with Russia in the future. Some of the sort of news coming out of France in their French media with regard to sort of war escalations is quite alarming, actually. Especially with the French. Especially with them. Robert says, practically throughout the war, him and his aides have been made threats of war with Europe, but nothing ever comes of it. And then after threatens war, he immediately says if Europe attacks Russia. Yeah, that's it. But I mean, Europe are never going to attack Russia. Well, I personally don't think so, unless something really, really escalated and went out of control. So I don't think we'll see anything of that. But I do think Putin is of course, flexing his muscles. I think, again, I don't know. I think it's just a power play from Putin time and time again, really. But he's obviously not happy with the way that Europe is sort of interfering in proceedings. So we'll see what happens. But positively, apart from this, there has been some good news from sort of the Ukrainian side, as Zelensky has agreed to the US peace deal. Of course, wants to monitor what's going to happen in Moscow with Putin and Trump, but said, look, everything seems as though it's leading to that, and Zelensky and Ukraine have agreed to this sort of deal in principle, if you like. But all eyes, of course, on Russia. It collapsed in Alaska, didn't materialize there. These talks have happened before, but Russian insiders are the ones that are saying that this is the best chance of peace. So we'll have to see, but you never really know with Mr. Putin. You really don't. You don't know what's going on in his mind at this moment in time. The French just surrendered. Macron needs to get his fella under control before he worries out ours. Exactly. At the end of the day, it's all about peace. I just think about the young Ukrainians, Ukrainian men, Russian men, and of course, maybe some women are fighting out there as well. I don't know if they're so I think they're a little bit more traditional. Again, I might be wrong. I'm not too sure. But it's about the sort of lives being lost. People my age just getting slaughtered at this moment in time. There's a lot of casualties, life-changing injuries, deaths and whatnot. And it's important that this war comes to an end, And the president of peace, Donald Trump, has a great track record, and hopefully he can get this one ended very, very soon. But guys, to conclude on what Mr. Putin has said, of course, he has said that we're ready for it as he talks war with Europe. Europe, of course, would have to start it, but Putin has said that he is ready for it. Guys, as always, let me know your thoughts on this down there in the comment section below. Hit like, hit subscribe.